Okay, last time we talked about links. So just a refresher that this is what a link looks like. We've got our A tag, hyperlink reference, the link that the page takes you to, and then the text the user clicks on. It would look something like this in Dreamweaver and then give you a visible result that looks something like this, kind of Craigslist-y. You can also link to other pages in the same site. So you're going to have multiple pages in your project, and if they're in the same folder, your links could look something like this. So you'll just have the name of the file and then the clickable text that the user will click on, which will give you a visible result that might look like this if you nested it in an unordered list. So organizing your files in order to link to them appropriately is really super important. So we want to look at the structure of how you want to organize your files. And this is a site that has a little bit more complexity to it than yours probably will. But the principle is the same. So you should all have one folder that this is all in. And this is known as the root folder. So you named yours something the other day. I think I named mine like VCD demo site. You'll notice that in all of these, there's no spaces, there's no special characters, everything's lowercase, super simple. Okay, so the root folder is where everything in your site should live. Nothing from your site should be outside of this folder. It will cause you problems and stress later. So organizing it up front is really important. And we're going to talk about child and parent elements. So in this particular example, we're looking at a hierarchy of organization of these folders. So you can see from the indent that, movies and music and theater are the main folders in this example arts root folder. And so these are child elements of example arts, which means that example arts is the parent of these folders. So these are directly underneath example arts. Since movies also contains additional folders within it, those are children of movies, but they are grandchildren of example arts. I know it's weird to be talking about these as humans, but the family tree analogy does make sense. So cinema and DVD, their parent is movies, so their grandparent is example arts. And this really comes into play when you start wanting to link your pages of your site together, because you need to know where you have put these things in order to link to them effectively. So if you have HTML pages in the same folder, your link can look very simple, something like this, reviews HTML. And why is because since we're linking from index, which is the home page of any directory, straight to another file in that folder, all we have to do is put its name. Okay. Something I haven't told you quite yet is that the index HTML is the home page of its directory. Directory, another name for folder. So if you have something that you want to be where someone goes when they first get to your site, you're going to name that index. So your index page here in example arts, that is the home page of example arts directory. So you guys should be naming your landing page where you want users to go first, index.html, and we'll do that in a little bit. Okay, so here's where it gets fun. We've already talked about linking to a folder in the same, or a file in the same folder. If you're linking to a file in another folder in your site, that's totally fine, but you need to be able to provide the full info to your link to tell it where to go. So if I'm linking from a page that's outside of the folder I want to go to, I just need to tell that link where to go. So files and folders are represented in web with slashes. Look at URLs that you go to and you'll see, slash and a word, slash and a word, slash and a word. Those are all folders or directories. Okay, so if I was to link from index.html, I need to say, all right, from here, you need to go into the music folder and find this file. Okay, and that's represented here. If I want to go out of a folder and link to back to the home page or back to a folder file in another folder, you can do that as well. This little dot dot here is kind of like a little elevator. It will pop you out of the directory you're in this case music. It's going to pop me out of my directory, and then I can look around and find index.html. If I want to link from example art into 2 folders, that's totally fine. I just need to provide where to go. So I'm at index here. I'm going to tell them to go into the movies folder and then into DVD folder and then go to, this should be pointing to index. All right, so these are just telling us which folders to go in to find the file. If I wanted to come back out of reviews, again, this little dot dot slash is going to act like an elevator popping me out of my directory. So when I'm in DVD, I pop out with the first dot dot. Now I'm in movies, and then I pop out one more time with the second dot dot, and then I can look around and find index. Let's go back. Sorry, I didn't mean to go that far. Okay, so file organization is super important, and you want to start off organizing your files in an appropriate way from the beginning, because once you link these things together, then you'll find it is a little bit more difficult. So if we're looking at our sites that we're making, right now I've got a very simple folder here on my desktop that contains 2 HTML pages and another folder in here that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But you just want to start off organizing your files in an appropriate manner, because then you can link to these very easily. You're not going to move them around. It'll make your life simpler later. So let's actually create a second page. So the other day we made a page with a bunch of links in it. Right? So you had a file that looked kind of like this, and I just had you name it whatever you wanted to name it. But now I'm going to have you create a new file, and we're going to name this file index, because this will let us make this the home page of our file. So if I say name it index here, it will be the home page when the browser goes to my document. So I actually did make an index page already, so I'm just going to open that in Dreamweaver. And then since my index and my Melissa test page are in the same folder, linking is very easy. If you look at my line 15, you'll see that all I had to do was provide the name of the file that I wanted to link to, and the reason for that is because those are in the same folder. Okay, so if I were to make a new folder and call it, we'll just echo what the other page had, and I want to save I want to have an index page of music, I'll create a new file. So I'll do new HTML. Now I've got my new HTML file here. I'm going to go ahead and save it inside my music folder, and I'm going to save it as index, just for I'll save it as index music just to make it clear to you. And then I'll do music page here just so you can see. And then if I want to link to that page, I'm going to type in my hyperlink reference equals, and it's going to pop up with this little browse thing. And so you'll see that it goes with the pages or the folder that I'm in. I can click on this music folder. I can find the index page here, and I'll just type in music there. Okay, so now I will be able to go to this music page, but you see how it looks a little bit different than the link on line 15. The link on line 15, these pages are in the same folder, so all I have to do is put in the name. Here, these pages are in different folders, so I have to provide the file path. So I look at my file structure that I've got organized in order to know where that's going to go. Okay, I'm going to actually name this properly because it should not be index music, it should be index. And I'm going to change it in my code so it'll function. Okay, so that's linking to other images in your page. Go ahead and take a moment, create an image or create an index file, organize your files like this, and then link from your new index page, this is my index page, Wild and Crazy Adventure, to the page you made the other day, which is what I did on line 15.